Tucker Carlson continued to encourage his viewers to question the efficacy of the coronavirus vaccine at a time, by the way, where the new cases of coronavirus patients has increased as a result of the Delta variant, a far more contagious version of an already contagious virus. And that mutation is spreading rapidly among young, unvaccinated individuals who sometimes end up hospitalized, sometimes end up dead. At this point, 99% of people who end up in the hospital due to coronavirus are unvaccinated individuals, which is why it's so irresponsible for people like Tucker Carlson to repeat disinformation like what you're about to hear.
Tape for you from the UK's chief scientific advisor, a man called Sir Patrick Vallance. This tape is from today.
In terms of the number of people in hospital who've been double vaccinated, we know it's around 60% of the people being admitted to hospital with COVID have been double vaccinated. And that's not surprising because the vaccines are not 100% effective.
So fully 60% of patients admitted to British hospitals for severe, presumably life-threatening cases of COVID, because that's why you go to the hospital, had been fully vaccinated. That's what he just said.
Except he also later, very soon after that statement, corrected what he said and mentioned that, oh, I'm sorry, I misspoke. It's actually not 60% of hospitalizations are from COVID among vaccinated people. So Vallance later corrected himself on Twitter, stating that 60% of hospitalizations from COVID are currently from unvaccinated people. So he misspoke. It happens sometimes, especially when you're speaking off the cuff or you're having a discussion. Sometimes you say the wrong word. And in this case, he mixed up vaccinated with unvaccinated. Anyway, I bring that up because Tucker Carlson just doesn't care. He continues to spread disinformation about the vaccine, even as he gets to work in a cushy home studio that he built for himself, even as it's pretty clear that he's vaccinated himself. And by the way, other Fox hosts have been vaccinated. So like what is, I don't know, Francesca, you tell me, what is the point here? Like, is this really a big ratings grabber, like denying the efficacy of the coronavirus vaccine? I don't get it.
It's incredible, right? I mean, it is, I thought I had seen it all. I thought we were in the upside down, obviously, when Trump was elected. When he says there's good people on both sides. But when Trump got COVID, after politicizing it as nothing more than a cold for months, and then got COVID, and yes, huffs and puffs up his stairs and takes off his mask defiantly, like Vladimir, like that really, like I mean, I needed a cold shower. I didn't know whether we were in reality anymore. But here you have Republicans who know that Trump is out of the White House. They don't have to fear him anymore. They don't have to fall in line anymore, but they're being whipped by their own anti-science base. And once Trump politicized it, then it was game on, and they're never gonna retract it. They will, and I said this before, what will it take for them to actually believe the science? Nothing. Tucker Carlson's mother and father could both die from COVID. It wouldn't matter. Everyone who's unvaccinated, nothing will get to them because they've doubled down and they won't backtrack and they won't say that they're wrong. Because which I don't understand, because it's like, you realize you're just talking to your own base. Like, you realize that you're just killing off your own base. The problem is they're killing other people too.
Yes.
Children cannot get vaccinated right now. Right? I know there's vaccine hesitancy, not from the likes of Tucker Carlson, but from other communities. Immunocompromised people are a little hesitant. I know Black and brown communities, Latino communities who've been highly mistreated by our healthcare system. The answer to that is, of course, way more outreach, way more funds, and the things that, to be honest with you, the Biden administration is doing right now. So there's a little bit of hat off to that, but. Yeah, I am at a loss. I think for me, last point on this, I think it's gonna take COVID survivors and family members of COVID deaths, of people who died from COVID, to band together and to sue Fox News. It's the only way that's gonna get them to stop. If people who've lost loved ones to COVID can band together, can create an anti-defamation, a class action lawsuit to sue Fox News, and they're specifically go after as we've been talking about, go after their advertisers. Hit them where it hurts economically, because otherwise they're gonna keep on spreading this misinformation. And there's no other way to say it. They've got blood on their hands.
Yeah, and it's not just Fox News. I mean, believe it or not, for all the disinformation that Fox has put out during the pandemic, they pale in comparison to the vicious toxicity coming from OAN and Newsmax, and other, wannabe broadcasters on platforms like YouTube as well. I mean, it's all over the place. It's all over the place. People who genuinely believe that the vaccine makes you magnetic. Okay, like a cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Like I don't know how to respond to these people. And to be quite honest with you, I'm at a point where I don't care. I don't care what happens to them. I don't. Like, we're all adults. We get to make decisions about our own lives. However, their decisions are harming innocent people who have followed the rules. Okay, their actions are harming people who don't have access to the vaccine yet. Right? People who can't get the vaccine because of their pre-existing conditions. Like, these people, like, every time I go to a store now and have to put my mask on, like, how do you not get furious at
I'm so furious.
At all of the progress being reversed because of idiots who listen to Tucker Carlson's stupid show? Well, like, and then honestly, the icing on the cake is seeing people who I legitimately admired for the entirety of my career until pretty much over the last year, going on his show and legitimizing his garbage. People like Glenn Greenwald, who pretend on one hand he goes on the show, to speak truth to power. What's wrong with going on Tucker Carlson's show if you're, willing to counter his nonsense narrative or his propaganda? Except he never does that. He goes on Tucker Carlson's show and legitimizes his garbage day in, day out, every time he does it. And it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. He has reduced himself to that garbage, and he needs to wake up and snap out of it. Look, if he's already on that side, then just be clear with your audience. Be clear on Twitter, be clear with everyone about who you really are and how you've decided to brush off any values you may have had to legitimize the garbage on Fox News. Just say it. Just say it, Glenn. Just say it. Be honest with your audience. Instead, he does like this cute little thing, like, no, it's okay. I'm just flirting. I'm just doing a little flirting with the fascism. Get out of here. Can see right through that garbage.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.